Hello, it's Mike Hodgson. I'm here today to give you an update on our results of our PEA study, which have just come out, and I hope everyone's going to enjoy the read of the news.
Well, I think they will, Mike. I think they will. I've had a chance to read through the basic numbers, but why don't you kind of summarize those for people?
Well, yeah, they're pretty much as we've been talking about with our marketing. They pretty much endorse what we're doing. We're going to ramp up from sort of current 20,000 ounces this year. We'll be up to 35,000 ounces by 2026, which will take our group ounces up to 60,000 ounces. AISC numbers coming in wonderfully, about 1250, 1240, 1250, a bit lower than we expected, which is great. That's largely due to how payable this ore body is, which is great. NPVs, project NPVs, over a 10-year mine life, 11-year mine life, at sort of 2,100 gold, which we used as a base case, it was about $145 million. Grows to 211 if you use spot price today, which is because 2,100 looks a bit silly at these prices, at today's prices. So it's very cash generative, throwing off about sort of $17, $18 million free cash flow a year, which is great. And that, with the contribution from Palito, which is obviously going to be a fair bit less, but Palito is still a profitable mine, it's going to mean our 60,000 ounces, which we've been talking about, is going to be very profitable. And remembering this is all being done because we're no longer building a process plant. We're using a crushing plant and an ore sorter, which can be switched on next month. So as of beginning of November, no more CapEx needed regarding process. It's just mine development as we expand and ramp up and enjoy the ride.
Okay, what this suggests is that obviously the blended AISC, all-in sustaining cost, will come down, and therefore margins will go up. And in this gold environment, that's nothing short of good news. Can you talk to me about any kind of further upside? You mentioned ore sourcing there. Are we seeing Coringa? Is it good for ore sorting as well?
The ore sorting Coringa is amazing. It's really good. We got the ore sorter at Palito, which we sort of 40% of the ore, so it's not bad. At Coringa, it's wonderful. So what's going to happen, as I saw you a couple of weeks ago at Beaver Creek, I explained, you saw the photos there, that the ore is very, very color. The definition between the ore body and the waste rock is so sharp, color sorting works wonderfully. And we get 98% recovery in a single pass, which means we crush the ore comes out the mine, about 5.3, 5.4 grams per ton in this study. It comes out the mine, it goes to the crushing plant, and then it gets crushed from, say, the 6-inch material down to about half an inch, 25 mil, 15 to 25 mil. That material goes to the ore sorter, and it's separated. The ore and the waste is separated. The waste is screened out. It's not anyone who knows anything about ore sorting will always go, yeah, but it's all about controlling your fines in the crushing plant. When you crush rock, you crush it, and you will, by definition, generate some fines which cannot be ore sorted. So what actually will happen is, let's say you crush, you'll probably generate 25% fines, which will be naturally higher grade because the ore body generally tends to be more fragile. So there's a little bit of an uplift in the fines, but it means 25% of your ROM doesn't get ore sorted. But the 75% goes to the ore sorter and gets sorted. What that means, if you add together the fines, which have been upgraded a little bit with 25%, and you add together the 75% of the ore sorted material, which gets increased in grade a lot, like 6 or 7 times, the overall grade improvement, it will be 3 times, the overall grade improvement will be about 1.6 times in this study. What that means is the ore leaves the mine at 5.3 grams per ton and becomes 8.5 grams per ton on the trucks. We've, since this PEA, done more work on reducing the fines in the crushing plant, which means more of the raw ore that comes out the mine goes to the ore sorter, where it gets more of an upgrade. And we think we can get grades of 10. In fact, the first 5 years...
How much, Mike? What are you aiming for, potentially?
Grade of 10. We think we can
10.
get a grade
okay.
of 10. Yes, so we can literally double the grade. And that's the test work of later shown that. And in fact, in the first 5 years of this mine plan, the grade is 9.7, nearly 10 grams per ton anyway. All I'm trying to say is, in this study, NCL have used conservative numbers on the upgrade. We think we can do better. So there's real upside there. The other big upside, of course, is the resource growth. I mean, we're going to spend next year, we're going to generate a lot of cash flow, and we are going to focus very hard on resource growth at Coringa over the next 18 months. It's there to be drilled. It really is. Really, just walk up drill targets. It's very open. Lots of opportunity to grow this resource. More resource base, more production base, more production, more ounces. Do we put more processing at Coringa, or do we just truck more ore? The nice problems to have.
Nice problems to have indeed. So you're saying that the life of mine, as you've indicated here, could go beyond that 11 years. You will do work
I wouldn't say it's meaningless, but unfortunately, it's what we could do.
Base case. Are we going with base case?
Yes, yeah. It is.
Okay. So lots more work to come. And the other thing here is, and I think, look, after a lot of shareholders, I think, maybe taking some profits off the table in the last couple of weeks since I saw you, and quite right too. That's the name of the game. For you, though, the cash component and free cash flow is still being created. It's a case of what do you do with that? Because with Coringa, that's coming out of cash flow. We're not talking about any more kind of capital raises required to be done there, are there?
Nope.
Okay, good. Okay, so shareholders can say, right, this thing is generating cash, sustaining cash, growth capital to increase the ounces, and be the beneficiary of these kind of gold prices at the moment. Okay, fine. Can I get on to exploration? So exploration, Coringa, you've sort of talked about, but can you give us a bit more detail about what that's going to look like, over the next 12 months?
Well, we won't get to. We reckon we need to drill about 30. Taking Coringa first, we reckon we need to drill about 30,000 meters at Coringa. We won't be able to do that in a single year. It'll probably take about 2 years, but the intention is 30,000 meters. If the targets the gaps we're going to drill, infill the gaps at Coringa, if they all come off, or sort of 50% of it comes off, don't see why we can't get the resource at Coringa up to, we'll double it, get to 1 million ounces, or best part of. We'll try and do that in the next 18, 24 months. That's it, fairly straightforward. We'll also have rigs over at Palito, and we're drilling now a property called São Domingos, which is quite near Palito, which we're very hopeful could be a very nice satellite ore body to Palito, much as São Chico was. It's very near to São Chico. It looks like another exciting little prospect. We've already got some holes into it, 7 meters at 200 grams per ton, so that's obviously whetting the appetite. We're going to drill a bit more there, and then we'll continue with brownfield step out drilling at Palito, again trying to grow the resource there from its current 500,000 ounces to maybe 750, get halfway, 750,000 ounces. I think I've said to you before, what we're doing, our business plan at the moment, is we're just maximizing ounces with the infrastructure we've got by increasing the grade on the 2 producing assets. What we do next, that's what we call phase 1. Phase 2, what we do next will be driven by results from drilling. We're drilling up Palito to grow resources. We're drilling at Coringa to grow resources, because very soon we're going to hit the ceiling, the plant constraints again, and we're going to need more plant capacity. Do we just put more ball mills at Palito, which we can do very simply because we have the mills, and that'll be cheap and cheerful and fine? Or do we bite the bullet and go back to putting some kind of processing at Coringa? It'll very much depend on where those growth ounces come from. So, we're going to be spending as much money as we can sensibly spend at both properties in the next 18 months. And by that, I would say a pretty healthy budget. I would say $5, $6, $7 million next year for brownfield exploration. And that's a good amount of drilling. Keep the boys happy, keep the boys busy at site.
Yeah, and also you're starting to look like the potential of pre-COVID, 2019, 2020 pre-COVID. It feels like the potential of Coringa's been released at last. With regards to trying to get more certainty around those numbers, moving from PEA onto feasibility or pre-feasibility studies, however you choose to go forward. What's the sort of timing of that? And is it a distraction because you do underground high grade gold underground mining very well already? Is there a need to kind of go through the usual robust process, say if you were kind of first timer?
The trouble is with a vein mine, you've always got a quite complicated for people to understand. But there's always a contribution of inferred resources in your production plan, and BFSs don't really. People shoot me now for saying this, but BFSs don't really work for underground vein deposits. They don't. That's why you actually, it's very difficult to drill out enough reserves to have a 10-year mine life on a vein mine. It's very difficult. I think people have to judge you on, well, these guys have been doing this for such a long time, their conversion. And the beauty about Coringa is already the conversion rate of the inferred resources after 3 years there to reserves is so high. It's like 90%. That's why this ore body is so reliable. Palito, it's like 30%. That's why the AISC at Coringa is like about 1,200 and the AISC at Palito is like 1,800. That's the reason, because we have to do 1/3 of the development at Coringa to win the same amount of ounces as Palito. So everything's simpler. I'm not saying Palito's a bad mine. It's just more expensive and more difficult. And we have to do more development to actually gain those ounces. So I think people will, hopefully with the drilling, what we're doing now and the drilling that we're going to be doing over the next 18 months, people are going to really see what a great deposit Coringa is. And as I say, that conversion from an history, and the longer you run, the longer you operate, and the more sort of track record you have of converting inferred ounces into reserves, people give you value for that.
Well, Mike, it's good news indeed. Appreciate you coming on, let us know the results so quickly. We look forward to hearing from you soon.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it.